primary goal was, of course, student achievement in every teacher's mind. How can we reach our students in the best way? How can we teach them in the best way so that they can be successful?
We share a common goal to help student achievement.
I think most people become teachers because they want to make an impact on students. And I think ultimately that was the goal of this particular program.
So we want to make a difference for kids. We want our kids to be 21st century learners. We want them to be ready for the future. And we want to make sure that every child has what he or she needs to be successful.
We've been encouraging differentiated instruction in education and classrooms for quite a while. And I think that's almost an impossible task to ask of our teachers today, because they haven't had the tools to actually do that. Because to do it well, how do you customize learning for 3 different levels, or 5 different levels, or 32 different levels? It's just not possible with the amount of time and the size of classes today. So if I was a professional graphic artist, I would have created a TED Talk and scripted this thing and recorded it, and I just, I don't have those skills. But what I could do is I could take a bunch of Sharpie pens and blank pieces of paper, and I'd call it a cartoon strip of the vision of 21st century learning. I was presenting a vision of what could be in the future without the detailed roadmap. But the question was, do you want to go there? I went back to the agrarian stage of society. And the one relic that we have from that era is we have a school calendar tied to farming so that we have summers off, which is really not very good for kids learning. But that's what we have. Try to change that and you'll go look for a new job. Then we get to this industrial stage of society that we've been in for quite a while. And the initial designers of education were the industrialists of the 1900s, 1910, 1920. I put 1990 as approximate change point when we start shifting towards the information age. And this is talking about, for an individual, is you have direct access to information. Our schools are still in this industrial stage. We're trying to do the information stage, but that's a hard transition because we've been wired to do this now for at least 100 years.
Most of the change people make at school tend to be small, tend to be more evolution, but this is really a revolutionary change.
The question that I've asked our staff is, if you could design a school or classroom of the future, what would it look like? There's still a teacher. In fact, the teacher is even more important in this space, but the role of the teacher is different. The teacher is an activator of learning. We want teachers to focus on higher order thinking, critical skills that only a human being could teach another human being. You can't subcontract that over to technology. The old model of one teacher and 32 students, let's be more flexible about grouping. Students should also have an opportunity to collaborate, communicate, work with their peers. That's what we want students to be able to do out in the workplace, their future jobs, so let's make that part of their daily experience. Students today can learn skills, knowledge, basic information via technology. The software is getting better and better where you can turn some of the learning over to technology. The teacher is going to have to come down into this blended learning space and facilitate, help kids. The blended learning is going to help with the lower level skills to free the teacher so they can work on the higher order skills. I'm so excited about presenting this to our teachers because it's going to help them make sense of their world, whether they're in a blended learning environment or thinking about going to one. Our leadership team had to be in on the vision. It was creating a picture of what could be, but without telling them exactly how to get there.
We shared it with the board, and they liked what he had to say.
2 schools stepped up and said, hey, we're going to do this.
So this was an opportunity for us to figure out what is it that we can do outside of the box, outside of our normal parameters, so that we can make a difference for kids and we can see the kids get ignited by the excitement of learning.